Good day, Dr. Kang. So, me and my group mates are going to present the assignment, but let me introduce ourselves first. I'm Jensen, and my group mate Karyang, Winnie, Gabriel, Cinti, Colin, Herman, and Kaishan. So, the first one we are going to look is to the air conditioning. Let's look at the refrigeration cycle. It is a reverse thermodynamic cycle whereby heat is transferred from a body with a lower temperature to a body with a higher temperature owing to the expenditure of work. The most efficient method for controlling internal building temperature in a large commercial building is by using a centralized system. So above the diagram, it's the diagram of a centralized system. There are two types of central air conditions, which is split system and package system. It is a device where air is refrigerated in a central location and circulated by one or more fans and ductwork to and from the rooms. Next, I'll pass to Cindy to discuss about the VAV system with packed rooftop units.
Thank you, Jensen. So now we talk about package roofing unit, or RTU. Is a type of HVAC system that contains all the components needed to provide air conditioning in a single concise unit. Package rooftop units are commonly found in light and large-scale commercial applications. They are very popular for retail and industry properties. Package roof systems provide air conditioning by direct contact between condenser, conures, and outdoor air, removing hydraulic pipe from the air conditioning system. Most RTU models can also be fitted with a gas boiler to use the same air duct system for heating. So the most suitable for the commercial building is the VFV system with packaged rooftop unit. Next, Gilbert will discuss about the vertical transportation.
Good day, sir. I'm Gabriel, and now I'm going to present to you about the vertical transportations. And firstly, we will talk about elevator. So elevator is simply a metal box that transport goods and people vertically from one floor to another by pressing button that is provided inside the elevator. There are a few types of elevators, which is service lift, freight lift, passengers lift, and so on. And also they use different types of hoist mechanism, which is commonly used is tractions and also hydraulic. So for high-rise building is usually tractions, and the locations for elevator is usually located in places where it's easy for shoppers to look for by following the sign provided by the owner. And now it comes to the installation part of the elevator. Elevator is installed part by part. Firstly, the elevator shaft must be constructed first by pouring concrete to construct the wall, the shaft wall, but not the roof. And other than that, the supporting equipments will be installed in it as well, and then the counterweight will also be installed afterward. After all the supporting equipments, the elevator cars, the counterweight is installed, and then only the roof will be covered up and leaving a machine room above it to control the elevator. After that, the owner is compulsory to operate the elevator by following the legislative requirements and standard to ensure the passengers' safety. And several safety systems are also installed to ensure passengers' safety. One of the safety systems is safety braking system, safety gear braking system. Safety gear braking system works when the elevators travels at a speed that exceeds the designated speed. So it will put into actions and braking and stopping the elevators from moving. And the door closing time for an elevator is around 3 seconds. And the owner is also responsible in ensuring the synchronizations of the car door and also the landing door. Last but not least, the maintenance of an elevator is separated into 3 categories, which is the maintenance for hoistway, maintenance for machine room, and also the car. Usually, the owner need to carry out the maintenance once per 3 months according to DOSH. And usually the work for maintenance is to check and correct the response time, the travel time, communication devices, and also door operations. I finished my part. Now I pass the time to Singni.
Thank you, Gabriel. My name is Singni, and now I will continue with the escalator and travelator part. So I will briefly explain what is an escalator first. It is a moving staircase to transport people between floors. And when it comes to the layout of the escalator, there are usually 3 typical configuration options, which is the parallel, crisscross, and multiple parallel. The one that is more often seen in a commercial building is parallel and crisscross. Next, I'm going to talk about the size, speed, and inclination of an escalator. There are several sizes for an escalator depending to the type of building, which is 600 mm, 800 mm, and 1000 mm. So in a large commercial building, the one that we usually see is 1000 mm, and its speed is within 0.45 meter per second to 0.6 meter per second, but the optimum speed should be at 0.5 meter per second. And the inclination for an escalator is usually 30 or 35 degrees according to the international standard. An escalator should be located at somewhere that can be easily seen by general public, because one of its function is to allow the shoppers to look at the shops around them while they are traveling from one floor to another. Next, I'm going to talk about the travelator. It is a slow-moving mechanism that transports people across a horizontal or inclined plane over a short distance. So usually what we see in a commercial building is the inclined one, whereas the horizontal one is only used in airport. The size also, there is also different size, which is 800 mm and 1000 mm. And same as escalator, the one that we see in commercial building is 1000 mm. Speed is also same with escalator, 0.5 meter per second. But the inclination is different because it is not as steep as an escalator, which is only 10 to 12 degree and not more than 15 degree, according to international standard. A travelator should be located at somewhere that can be easily seen and near to basement car park, because we think that people going to the shopping center, which is the commercial building, they will usually go back to the car park right after they buy their groceries. So the grocery store is usually at ground floor, which makes them have to carry a trolley with them when they are going back to the car park. So it will be more convenient for them to take the travelator instead of an elevator. Now I'm going to talk about the installation for escalator and travelator. There are several installation process for them, but in a large commercial building, we can actually install them in one complete section because we have a wide road of access. In this way, we can minimize site assembly and testing period because we are not installing them in several sections. However, we need to wrap them in heavy gauge polyethylene film after installation to prevent them from dust and water. Moving on, next, I'm going to talk about the operation of escalator and travelator according to DOSH, which is the Department of Occupational Safety and Health. First of all, the movement of handrail and steps of an escalator and travelator shall be synchronized at all times. The emergency stop button must be able to function properly in case of any incidents that happen. Lastly, the escalators and travelators should be able to show clear indication on its traveling directions if they are not in a continuous operation mode. Last, I'm going to talk about the maintenance part. So preventive maintenance should be carried out monthly to prolong the lifespan of the moving parts, where lubrication and greasing is needed for escalator and travelator. There should be also examination to be carried out by a competent firm to these escalators and travelators in a building in every 3 months. Lastly, the certificate of fitness of these machineries should be renewed in every 15 months from the client to the DOSH. That's all from me. And now I'll pass it to Kaishan to continue with the fire system.
Okay, thank you, Winnie. Now I'm going to talk about fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher is an active fire protection device which is portable and discharges a jet of water, foam, gas, or other material to extinguish a fire. The most suitable type to use in the building is ABC dry powder fire extinguisher. It is an excellent all-round fire extinguisher which is filled with monoammonium phosphate powder and able to use on Class A, Class B, and Class C fires. There are 4 simple steps to operate a fire extinguisher. First is to pull the pin. Second is to aim at the base of the fire. Third is to squeeze the lever, and lastly is sweep it from side to side. These simple 4 steps can be easily recognized as a keyword called PASS, pass. Fire extinguisher shall be located where they will be readily accessible and immediately available in the event of fire. It shall be installed on the hangers, in the bracket supply, mounted in cabinets, or set on shelves. All fire extinguisher designed for commercial use will have a date of manufacture listed on the label and also an electronic fire extinguisher inspection system certificate. It requires to be serviced and inspected annually and requires replacement after 10 years. Next, I'll pass to Colleen to explain the wide pipe sprinkler system. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaishan. And now I would like to explain the wet pipe sprinkler system. A wet pipe system is one in which water is constantly maintained within the sprinkler piping, and when the sprinkler activates, this water is immediately discharged onto the fires. And normally it placed at selected location attached to the pipes. Sprinkler heads are mounted on the roof or ceiling. And when the fire breaks up, the glass ampoules of sprinkler head will expose and release water flow when at a certain temperature. And each installation consists of a set of main control valves and an area of pipes fitted with sprinkler heads. For maintenance, it requires continuous testing and inspection at least once a year, and it costs expensive. The sprinkler heads are necessary to be replaced every now and then. And that's all my part. Now I would like to pass to Ke to explain the passive fire protection. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. My name is Ke Yang, and I'll be proceeding with the passive fire protection system. The passive fire protection system consists of products installed in a building, which is a fire barrier system, a fire escape, and a fire control to safeguard people and reduce damage to the building, and it's contained by limiting the spread of fire, smoke, and protecting and providing the escape routes. The most of the product of this system is planned and adopted in the building at a design planning stage, which includes the fire appliances access. Passive fire protection in all building construction products must meet the building regulation guidelines, which is the UBBL, the Uniform Building Bylaws. The compartmentations in the passive fire protection is very important, and it plays a vital role as it divides the building into few compartments by the use of fire barrier and the fire stopping products to slow down or to stop the spread of fire, smoke, and the toxic gases from one zone to another zone and from one floor to another floor, and also providing a safe route for occupants to escape during the event of fire. The product that zoning the building into few parts is the fire doors, the fire resisting wall, the fire resisting floor, and the fire resisting ceiling. The fire resistant wall acts as a barrier to stop the spread of fire and smoke for a period of time. There are two types of fire resisting wall, which is the wall giving support to the structure and the wall doesn't give support to the structure, which is the partition wall. And these all use different materials. The wall giving support to the structure is constructed by concrete, and the partition wall usually made up from several successive layers of non-combustible board, which properly installed to be effective. The fire door is a door with a resisting rating, and its purpose is the same with the fire resisting wall, as it acts as a barrier to stop the spread of fire and smoke between the separated compartment for a period of time to enable safe egress from the building. So the sliding and revolving design are prohibited in fire doors because of the inevitable airspace between the door and the wall. Move on to the staircase is the most preferred solution for fire escape, and it plays a vital role in evacuation during the fire events or any hazard occurrence, especially in a multi-story building. The fire escape staircase should be ventilated at each floor or landing level by openable windows or permanent opening to open air of not less than 1 square meter per floor. The last is the firefighting lift. The firefighting lift provides access and facilities for firefighting services, which assist the firefighter to move with more ease vertically while firefighting and rescue victims. It should be accessible from the ground floor, and the electricity supply should be separated from another lift. Usually, firefighting lift will have an emergency operation in the event of fire, which the lift will automatically move to the predetermined floor in the building for passenger to evacuate safely, which is the evacuation floor. Thank you, and that's all for my part, and I will pass it to Herman for the electrical system.
Okay, so right now I will be explaining the electrical system. And so the first electrical system that I will be introducing is the generator set, which is powered by diesel. And its main function is to stand by the emergency power during an event of a blackout. So a generator set is usually located in a gen set room, and its installation process is first to have an overhead crane to move the generator into the building. And next is to ensuring that the room has enough ventilation circulating around it. And ventilation such as exhaust fans will be installed if there is no ventilation. And last but not least, electrical drops will be run after the generator is installed. So moving on to the next electrical system, which is the transformer. Normally in a high-rise building, dry transformer is used, and its function is to tweak the voltage, whether it is to increase it or to decrease it. A transformer is usually located in a transformer room, and to maintain a transformer, first is to verify the oil level in the main tank. Next is to have an inspection on the surge arresters. Moving on is to have an insulation test every 5 years. And last but not least is to check its power factor every 5 years. So for the next electrical system, it is the main switchboard, also known as MBS in short. The function of MBS is to separate the main currents, hence guide the power from one source to another. A main switchboard is installed in a low voltage room, and its installation includes having gadgets establishment compartments and ensuring that the bus bar is mounted in the surrounding. And last but not least is to install any incoming active link association. So moving on to the next electrical system, which is capacitor bank. A capacitor bank is to improve the nature of the electrical force and distributes it. It is located in a low voltage room. To maintain a capacitor bank, first is to remove the dust deposits and cleaning out the inside parts and to paint the metalworks. Next is to check its condition of the fuse and discharge resistors. Finally, it is required to check the isolated connections and its operations. Moving on to the next electrical system, which is the circuit breaker. Its purpose of the circuit breaker is to shut down any electrical circuit when there is a short circuit. A circuit breaker normally is located in a transformer and a distribution board. Its maintenance for the circuit board is to be checked every 3 to 5 years. To maintain a circuit breaker includes having electrical test run, test value evaluation, changing the lubricant and restore it. and last but not least, having a test report. So the last electrical system that I will be introducing is the distribution board. Having a distribution board is to evenly distribute the electrical supply to different electrical components. And a distribution board is normally located in a riser room. So that is all from us. Thank you.